The EIB network made HBO's show The Newsroom last night. Yeah, we made it, and I know why we made it. Sorkin puts me in there so that I'll play clips from the stupid show and then promote the stupid show and so forth. I know how it works. That's what they all do. All these networks mention me, hoping and praying that I will play sound bites of them mentioning me, which will then incite curiosity for the network at large, people and tune in to listen, because oh, yeah, they disparaged me. They said a couple things that aren't true. Let's go ahead. Grab soundbites 2627. Here's the lead anchor on the show, Jeff Daniels, portraying the news anchor, Will McAvoy. And this is during a replay. Now, remember what this show is. The Newsroom runs at 10 o'clock on Sunday nights at HBO, which is when Breaking Bad is on. Breaking Bad premiered last night. And in fact, I'll tell you what happened. I had 3 shows set up to record at 10 o'clock last night and I have 2 DVRs. Actually, I'll leave it at 2. I've got 2 DVRs, but I made a mistake and I set 3. You can record 2 programs at one time. I set it up to record 3 shows at 10 o'clock last night. One is this new Sigourney Weaver, I'm Hillary Clinton show on the USA Network, Political Animals. And then Breaking Bad, the season premiere at 10 o'clock, and then this Newsroom thing on HBO. So at about 9:58, the TV says, uh-oh, you got a conflict here. You got 2 programs slated to record here at 10 o'clock. You got to cancel one of them. And the options I was given were Political Animal or the Newsroom. So I said, screw the Newsroom. Don't record it. Well, it happened to be the episode where I mentioned. But they rerun those things left and right. If I care, I can get it. I don't need to get it. I've got the soundbite here. You watch Breaking Bad? Oh, I love that show. Folks, it's the most amazing show. There's not one likable character. There's not one admirable thing in the show. You watch this show and you hate everybody in it. But it's the best. It's one of the best shows. Joel Cerno. I had never heard of the show. Joel Cerno told me, middle of the 2nd or 3rd season of the show, he said, you ever watch Breaking Bad? I said, no, never heard of it. Best show on TV. I said, how's it the best show on TV if I've never heard of it? It's the best show on TV. So I got the DVDs, and I watched the first couple episodes of the first season. This is horrible. It's about a high school chemistry professor who gets cancer, diagnosed terminal cancer. He doesn't have any money, so he gets together. I'm really shortening this up. He gets together with one of his reprobate high school students who runs a meth lab, and together they create the greatest crystal meth in the southwestern United States, including Mexico. This guy's brother-in-law is a DEA agent. And now we're season 5, and the DEA agent is no closer to knowing his brother-in-law is the new Scarface kingpin. The show has chronicled this guy starting out as the meekest, anybody can walk all over him, chemistry professor, to now he's the biggest crime lord in the country. It's fascinating. And his reprobate partner, some high school ne'er-do-well punk kid, they're all hateful characters. They're all hateful. Even this guy's wife is hateful. They're all just hateful. Even the kid, everybody in it. It's the first show I've ever watched where nobody is likable, which is unique. Most shows have at least 1 or 2 lovable characters you identify with. I have become product placement. Essentially, ladies and gentlemen, I am the new product placement. Product placement is the stuff that movies stick on their sets like a bottle of Coke or an iPhone or whatever, for which the movie companies charge an exorbitant fee. Product placement. Except I, El Rushbo, am not being paid, even though I'm product placement, because fair usage. Now, let me tell you what the Newsroom is. The Newsroom is a fake television news network every 10 o'clock Sunday night on HBO. And the technique is Aaron Sorkin, who wrote The West Wing, which many liberals thought was the actual White House when Martin Sheen was president. They fantasized about it. The technique of this show is to live in the past. For example, the opening episode dealt with the BP oil spill and how the news networks should have covered it and how they should have zeroed in on BP and how they should have destroyed that company and how they should not have let them up to breathe. So what Sorkin is doing is going back at news events that have already happened and writing a television show about this fictitious news network and how it should have been covered if the news was being done the right way at the time. So on last night's episode, we have a portion here. This is the anchor, Will McAvoy, played by the actor Jeff Daniels. And they're doing a report on media coverage of Obama's trip to India in 2010. Now, let me I said 26 first. Sound by 26 first. Here we go.
Radio host Rush Limbaugh has repeatedly warned to his listeners to go out and buy guns before President Obama outlaws them all.
Now stop the tape. I should have asked somebody to go to the archives before the program started. I don't remember ever doing this. Now, I know there were people who were doing this. I didn't tell people to go buy guns before Obama outlaws them all. I don't think I did that. But see, I'm Xerox. I am talk radio. I am product placement. Now, re-cue that thing to the top. I mean, it's going to be hard to prove a negative here, but we're going to search the archives. I'm going to find out if I actually was the one urging people to go out and buy guns before Obama outlawed them all. I don't remember. I remember people doing it. I remember talking about it, reporting it, but it's not something that ever occurred to me. I am more careful than that. But see, it doesn't matter. I still get blamed for it. Here's the bite now in its totality.
Radio host Rush Limbaugh has repeatedly warned to his listeners to go out and buy guns before President Obama outlaws them all. The result? In November 2008, the month Mr. Obama was elected, there was a 42% spike in gun background checks as compared to the same month the year before. In spite of Governor Palin, Glenn Beck, Rush Limbaugh, and the director of the NRA telling us emphatically that Barack Obama has a secret plan to get our guns, here's the president's report card. Background checks, F. Gun trafficking, F. These grades would indicate that President Obama is the best friend the NRA has ever had in elected office, to say nothing of the Oval Office. Why are Sarah Palin, Glenn Beck, Rush Limbaugh, and the head of the NRA so colossally lying to you? I don't know.
This is a news show. This is the fictitious Newsroom is the HBO show. And as I say, they're going back. They're taking events in the past and recovering them on this show, as Aaron Sorkin thinks that the news networks back then should have. I wonder if Aaron Sorkin has ever heard of Fast and Furious. I wonder if Aaron Sorkin has ever heard the story that Obama and Eric Holder did everything they could to get AK-47s into the hands of Mexican drug cartels for the express purpose of ginning up anti-Second Amendment fervor among the American people. And I wonder if Aaron Sorkin is aware of the fact that the Justice Department will not release documents that would tell us the truth of the program. How clueless is... So not only does he report that I'm out there telling everybody to go buy guns now before Obama outlaws them, now he's saying that Obama's the best friend the NRA ever had because he doesn't... It's an absolute crock. Sturdley is sending me a little note here. It says, thanks for the clip you've just ensured I'll never watch or pay any attention to the Newsroom. Well, that's only the first bite. The actor, Jeff Daniels, as the anchor Will McAvoy, continued.
On November 2nd of last year, the website for New Delhi TV quoted an anonymous official of the Maharashtra government saying that President Obama's trip would be costing $200 million a day. The Drudge Report posts a link to the story, either believing it to be possible or not caring that it isn't. Rush Limbaugh knows this figure can't possibly be right, but Mr. Limbaugh runs with it anyway.
507 rooms at Taj Mahal, 40 airplanes, $200 million a day. This nation will spend on Obama's trip to India.
I think people who willfully, purposefully, and gleefully lie to the American people in order to damage someone's reputation should, like a registered sex offender, be required by law to come with that warning label for the rest of their lives.
There's their fantasy. Their fantasy is, in a second Obama administration, that conservatives would have to register like sex offenders. That's their fantasy. There you have people. How about, in order to damage someone's reputation? You mean like Obama's doing now with this silly notion that Romney's a felon? From Mr. Civility himself, all of this guttural, rot-gut sleaze coming in the form of a presidential campaign, coming from Obama. I remember this story. I remember this, and that was what was first reported. There were 40 airplanes taking all the administration people and the press and everything, and taking out the whole Taj Mahal. I don't remember the source of the story, but I think it was the regime. I think the regime put this thing out so that they could then laugh at everybody for believing it later and at the same time issue a denial. The thing, Mr. Sorkin, the thing is, people believed it because it's entirely possible with this guy. I mean, they take 2 airplanes to Martha's Vineyard. Mrs. Obama took 40 people and who knows what all to Spain, all by herself. The Indian story, that was from India Today. It was a publication from India, one of their journals, and they're the ones who reported the size of the Obama entourage.